Hello guys, and welcome to my next Java tutorial. Today we're going to be checking for palindromes. And basically what a palindrome is a word that's spelled the same way forwards as it is backwards. And the first thing that we're going to need to do, obviously, is import our java.util.scanner and then make our scanner object, and then we can get started. System.in. Okay, and the first thing we're going to need to do is ask our user for a word, any word that they want to enter. System.println, enter a word. And we're going to scan that in with string word equals scan.nextLine. And basically what the scan.nextLine method does is it scans in any like string that has more than one letter. So if you were just scanning in a character or a letter, then you would just use scan.next. But because we're scanning in an entire word that has, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever, however many letters you want, since it has more than one letter, you have to do scan.nextLine so that it runs through the entire word. And now we're going to go ahead and make our palindrome method to check and see if it's a palindrome. So it's going to be public static boolean is palindrome. And it's going to take a string and we'll just call it str for now. And the reason why it's boolean is because boolean returns true or false. Basically, it's very simple. And in this method, the word is either a palindrome or it's not a palindrome. There's no in between, and that's why we're using boolean. If it is a palindrome, we're going to return true. If it's not a palindrome, we're going to return false. It's very, very simple. And the first thing we're going to need in this method is a for loop. And the reason why we need a for loop is because it needs to run through the entire word. So for int I equals 0, I is less than str.length. Oh, there we go. Actually, I think I need one of these. Yeah. I plus plus. So since we have a for loop, we're running through the entire word. And we're going to need an if statement because we're going to need to check to see if the first letter, which is str.char at I, it's the first letter in the word because I equals I starts at 0, so it's the first letter in the string. If str.char at I does not equal str.char at str.length minus I minus 1. Oh, I screwed that up. Hold on. There we go. Then return false. So just to explain what all of this is doing, str.char at I is the first letter in the word that you entered, and str.char at str.length minus I minus 1 is the last letter in the word. And basically, this is running through the entire word, checking to see if the letter on the left, this is the easiest way I can think about it. The letter on the left side of the word equals the left side on the right, the letter on the right side of the word. If the for loop finds any occurrence where those two letters that correspond are not the same, which is what this exclamation point equals is doing, that means not equals. If the for loop finds any occurrence where the two letters are not the same, then it's going to return false because it's not a palindrome. So if the for loop runs entirely through the word and never finds an occurrence where the letters are not the same, then it has to be a palindrome. So we're going to return true. And basically, so it's going to run through. If it never finds an occurrence, then it's going to kick out of the for loop and come down here and return true. So we're going to come back up here, and basically we're going to say if palindrome, actually if is palindrome word equals true, And basically what this is doing is it's taking the word that you entered, that the user entered, and running it through the isPalindrome method. That's why it says isPalindrome right here. We called that method so that it runs the word through it. If the word is true, which means if it is a palindrome, if the word is a palindrome, system.out.println, oh, there we go, word, oh, I'm screwing up, is a palindrome. Oh, there we go. And then if it is not a palindrome, then we'll say println word is not a palindrome. And basically, yep, that's pretty much it. We just enter a word and we enter in the word into the method. The computer does that for you. The word is entered into the method and it runs that word through that method. If at any occurrence, this for loop is going to run through the word, and if the computer finds any occurrence where the letter, the letter that corresponds to the other letter, basically the letter on the right that corresponds to the letter on the left, if it finds any occurrence where that is not true, then the word is not a palindrome. But if it runs through the entire word and never finds that occurrence, the word is a palindrome. So we're going to go ahead and run this, and then we're going to come out here, and we're going to enter a word. So let's just enter Racecar. Racecar is a palindrome. And one thing that I want to add, just to ensure that this method is going to work, is take str, which is the word that the person entered. That's just the string in the method. So basically, when you enter in word, like up here, when it says enter a word, and it runs the word into this method, the word now equals str. So that's why it's called str in this method and not word. So we're going to take that word that the person entered and we're going to make it lowercase, just to make sure that the method works, that every letter is lowercase, because Java is a case-sensitive language. And basically, let's say you enter Racecar, but the first letter in Racecar is uppercase, then the computer would spit out that it's not a palindrome. And you're just asking yourself, well, Racecar is a palindrome. The reason why it said that it's not is because the first R that you entered was uppercase, and the last R is not uppercase. So to be safe about that, we're going to make every letter lowercase by doing that method. And one other thing that we can do is add a do-while loop so that you can just keep entering in words over and over and over again without stopping, pretty much. Actually, hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have it say, .println, enter another word. It's going to say yes or no. Oh. And we're going to add a do-while loop here. Do-while loops are basically just, it's a while loop. It's like a while loop, but they're basically used to run something at least one time. That's what do-while loops are for. So at the end of this, we're going to say, let's see, system.out.println. We're going to add this while, and we're going to say while. Hold on, we have to scan this in. This is a little choppy. Hold on. We're going to say outside of the do-while loop, string response, and we're going to say response equals scan.next line, just like above. And we're going to say while response does not equal, which is that exclamation point, n. So it's going to keep running through the do-while loop while the response that this person enters here does not equal no. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And we're going to come, oh, sorry about that, come out here. So enter a word, Racecar. Racecar is a palindrome. Enter another word, yes. Enter a word, tree. Tree is not a palindrome. Enter another word, yes. Enter a word, we'll just say, I don't know, Leal, just a random word. Leal is a palindrome. Enter another word, let's just say no. And it terminates. So that is the entire method. That is the palindrome method. That is it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next tutorial. All right.